welcome to the round of Donet City here in Donet City, the Exbalto Islands, which has recently tried some political reforms, which makes it a little bit more of a stable place. Christian Vanderpesch is on pole with Nick Pericles and Kenny Mayan second and third. As we go down the order, there's a couple of major championship contenders at the front of this grid and a couple of them in the back that need to do better. For example, you've got Chris Dodd, you're going to see in 14th. He's still in the points leader. We know he will be fighting for the championship, because mathematically, you can only catch him, or you can only pass him, and he can't mathematically be eliminated going into Amaria. So Dodd will be fighting for his first ARCSOA Elite Series championship. Trek Tauger and William Brock, as you can see, both received penalties for causing accidents. William Brock spun Kyle Bisceglia around, causing him to go out, and then Trek Tauger was also involved in that incident, but then also spun Bobby Jones out in qualifying as well. Jones was able to continue, however, Tauger got another 3 spots on top of that. On top of his 5-spot penalty, or got another 5 spots on top of his 3-spot penalty in Q1. Kyle Bisceglia, of course, is starting last. He's a major championship contender as well. This is one of the only street races we go to of the entire season. We're expecting this to be a pretty high attrition race for it being a 43-lap event. This could be a very, very, very high attrition race. I don't expect a lot of cars to finish this. But I would expect some pretty high, testy beating and banging throughout the field. Also, those grid penalties are applied after the starting grid, so that is still not where they're starting. So when it comes to Jones and Tauger, you have to add 3 and 8 places, respectively, to their starting spots. So, with that being said, let's go to the round of the Exbalto Islands at Donet City. Christian Vanderpesch will lead the field down to the green when the green flag flies. And we're off. Here we go. Green flag is out, and away we go. Looks like Mayak got a great start on the outside. Pericles did not. Arndt got a good start as well, but Mayak got kind of bogged down there by the 17, not getting a very good start. Here they go through the first couple of corners. And we got, Shelly's around in the back. Will Hoyt's in it. We've got a couple of cars all over the place. Are any championship contenders in it? I think Noah Hart might have been collected and all that. Hart is right there. Virtually no damage, but he did get away with, he did get held up there. We're going to take a look at that later as the field rockets down. Once again, Kenny Mayan with a bad start. This plagued him in Catawba Peninsula. And here comes John Arndt now. Arndt has really shown up for a championship here. And who's out? We got Monaco out, Baskinger's out, Sabers damage. Dodd, the point leader, has incredible damage. He's done. Oh, we got another wreck further up the track. It looks like that Dodd might have been in something else. But, yes, we've got a bunch of cars, so we're going to probably have a new point leader leaving this race. Here comes the field down the straightaway here. This track, like I said, is one of the most brutal ones on the schedule. To end the first lap, Vanderpesch leads, but we've got cars all over the place here. Mayan and both the Mayans have a lot of right side damage from beating and banging here. We're going to see how that turns out for them. This is what happened here. There was a wreck in front of them here, and this is how Dodd got collected in it. Oh, Dodd just got into Shelley. And that turns a nightmarish turn down there. It's a very narrow turn, and there's not a whole lot one can do. Okay, so it was the 80, it was the one getting turning the 84 run, because they were trying to go 4 wide out of a corner there. Just a bunch of cars just had nowhere to go. We're on board with the 18, and like I said, this is just one of the craziest first laps I've seen in a while here. First lap wrecks I've seen in a while here. Hart actually got away with very minimal damage. It's just he had to stop and lose a ton of track position. A little further up the track, Vance Caldwell would turn Tylea Wallish down the track, and around goes Wallish there, kind of touches the black wall there. But Wallish would continue. On lap 3, as you can see, the regular field is all spreading out pretty nicely here. Oh, a little bit of contact between. Oh, contact between Will Hoyt and that's Demax, and Demax is going for a roll here. That is not good if you're Eric Demax is on his lid. And that's going to be it for DeMax, and Wilhoit's effectively done as well, I would think. Alex Allen makes an aggressive move there on Kenny Myatt, who Myatt's going to have to hit because of right side damage. We're going to tire rub all three of these. A bunch of cars coming in early for tire rubs. That's not good for them. So Vanderpesch still continues to lead over John Arndt, DJ Curtis, and Grayson Acevedo with Nick Pericles in 5th. 6th is Alex Allen. Bobby Jones is up to 7th. Fitzwater 8th. 9th is Tauger, despite having a big penalty there on his start. 10th goes to Padcar, 11th to Brock, 12th to Halleck, 13th to Angel, 14th to Michelia, and 15th is going to go to Chase Dunbar here. So really that whole start thing didn't exactly hurt the two drivers. Well, did it hurt Jones, I wonder? It didn't hurt Tauger because he blew by all that wreck, but what happened to the 3 is my big question. And he's up pretty good too, so actually probably those penalties helped them, if anything. And right now you've got Vanderpesch and Arndt dueling for the lead. They're beating and banging downtown Donet City. This is where things get very, very close quarters here. You've got to be really careful through here not to screw up too much here, as it looks like John Arndt's going to take over the lead of the round of Exalto Islands. The Exalto Islands, which are the round of Donet City, really, is what it should be known as. Or what it is known as. Kenny Myatt's going to need a miracle now. He's still a long shot for the championship. He made a great comeback in Catawba Central International Raceway in Port Clinton, but he's not doing well here. He's down in 25th. He's got to hope for a lot more attrition in this race. It looks like actually Roush got some damage there from something early on there. I'm not sure what. Actually, that might have been his first lap. Bobby Jones would cut it in a little wide here and nearly wreck the car. Almost right there onto the paint over there. Eddie Schempadkar would also bring it down pit road here in a little bit, you're going to see. Padcar is apparently experiencing a tire rub. This track's got debris all over it right now from that first incident. And, of course, then we have another one, too, that was later. So, Padcar brings it down pit road. Padcar needs a lot of points to be a championship contender going into the round of Amaria. There was a crash between Cody Lamas and Roman Rahal. Lamas would get put into the fence, but he would continue. However, he has a lot of right side damage. Now you've got Vanderpesch and Arndt dueling again here. This is huge for them as they go onto these straightaways as well. Oh no, this is actually a replay of the incident of the past. James Shelley would get into another accident. This is still back on lap 3, as we're still getting replays in, as he was cut across Roman Rail's bumper, and that would kind of put him out of the race. The front of the field, John Arndt really can't pull away from anybody, as Vanderpesch and Curtis now are in the pack now, as looks like Acevedo's being held up by the lap car of Will Hoyt, as here comes Nick Pericles making an aggressive move there. Don't want to do that too often if you're Pericles. This is, of course, one of the more interesting sections of the track. Acevedo bumps Will Hoyt kind of out of the way through that kink. Kind of, like I said, it's a very scary track if you think about it, because how quick it is. For a street circuit, this is an incredibly fast street circuit. Oh, crash right there, Lamas, and somebody else was in it. That was Bobby Jones and Tylia Wallish. So, oh man, well, this is already turning into a real race of survival, because Bobby Jones, a major championship contender, is going to fall out of the race. Will that be it for him? Will that be it? What Bobby Jones has to hope for is that a lot of these championship contenders fall out. Because right now I think he's good. He's definitely good. However, it's all going to depend on what happens at the front of this field. If Bobby Jones will continue to be a championship contender in Amaria. Another contact here between Roman Rahal and Tylia Wallish. They would both go into the wall down there. And around they would go. Wallish would continue onward, I believe, though. Remember when I said Noah Hart got massively held up there on that start because he had to slam on the brakes to avoid a wreck and stop? Well, now he's in 13th. That was a smart move there by Noah Hart there. He needed that. He massively needed that. And now Noah Hart might come out of this race with a point lead because the person in front of him, Dodd, is out of the race, and right now they're basking or the person behind him out of the race. So the three main drivers are all out of the race. A bunch of cars are bringing it down pit road. That's Kyle Michelia. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, you got a battle here. Trek Tauger, just trying to deal with the lap car of Aiden Shepard and the other lap car of Scott Roush. Those two were nuisances in Catawba. Now it looks like they're making an encore presentation of that here as Curtis versus Vanderpesch for second. As it looks like Curtis is going to get the spot. Maybe, though, there's contact a little bit there. You don't want to do that too often here. Like I said, this track is incredibly hard. You need to race really hard on this track to really get it. Oh, Curtis just tries to put a slide jump on it there. Doesn't exactly work. It could have ended in tears if he wasn't careful. And now, finally, Curtis gets by Vanderpesch, but not before John Art can run away so far. John Art, the leader, would pit along with Curtis and practically everybody else down pit road. So I don't think anybody really is going to be staying out much longer here. This track is not the track where pit strategy is going to be your friend. John Art would lead after the pit stop cycle. However, the big one was Benjamin Dover, who stayed out a little longer there. DJ Curtis is going to be second as Vanderpesch had a pretty slow pit stop. Third, Vince Freeze jumped up to third. Great job by him. Allen fourth, Bouchard fifth. Tauger is up to sixth. Ace Vito is going to come across eighth because Dover came across seventh. Pericles dropped a bunch, but the biggest loser was definitely Vanderpesch, our pole sitter, all the way down to 13th. The Mayats further down the order are doing battle for position on track. Not for a very important position, might I add, but they're still doing battle. This is going to be a very hard battle for them. Kenny Myatt needs a lot of points here. You need to, if nobody gets in front of Dodd this week, you need to have 169 points, and Kenny Myatt's only on 147. So 1 minus 147, that would mean he needs to get 22 points this week. Wait a minute, never mind. I forgot that. That's a bad mistake on my part. 199 minus, my apologies, 60 is 139. So actually, nobody doesn't. Myatt's alright. Actually, we might have a ton of people fighting for a championship then in Amaria. If this is the way it's looking, we might have a lot of people going for a championship in Amaria. Oh, crash! This is Bouchard and Allen doing battle. Bouchard's a major championship contender, and he's in the fence. So that's not good for Donet Bouchard. So Bouchard is now got a lot of rear end damage there. So like I said, this is a total race of survival. Actually, Fitzwater nearly clocked Bouchard there. This is a total race of survival, really, in this one. Vince Freeze from third pits. Remember, Freeze is on a little bit of a different strategy, I believe. DJ Curtis now is closing in on John Art for the lead. As we go through the order, Trek Tauger's up to third, as a bunch of more cars have decided to start playing games with each other. Tauger up to third, starting all the way back in, I believe, 26th position. That's a pretty interesting start for Trek Tauger. Grayson Ace Vito also needs this kind of a race. It looks like, actually, the way it's looking, we're going to have a ton of people fighting for the championship when it comes to Amaria. This could be the most cars ever fighting for a championship in ARCSOA history. The way it's looking. Now, granted, we still have a long way to go in this race. But I'm just saying, this could be a rather wild finale. Curtis now is all over the rear end of John Art. Remember, these two drivers are actually pretty close in points. Only 2 points separate them. Curtis has 152 and Flint has 150. So this is where, and actually, Tauger in third has 153. So these three drivers are all really looking to really close this point gap here to Chris Dodd in the lead. As here they go, Curtis dives underneath him. There they go down the streets now of Donet City. This is where things are getting really crazy. We've seen this move done before, and now Curtis is going to pull this move again. He did it on Vanderpesch, and it looks like Curtis now is going to officially take over the lead of the round of the Exbalto Islands here in Donet City. And that is how you do it. Contact between Jack Hallett and Christian Vanderpesch. That puts Hallett around. And, oh, Sean Angel hits him. Angel's another major championship contender. He's sitting on 169 points. And Dunbar gets involved as well, so Angel is done. Angel is done. Myatt once again pits early. He is going to go a lap down here because of this, but with all the attrition in this race, Myatt could still end up getting points. So that could be good for him, but in this race, he would be one of those drivers that needs to get, like, the pole and the win in Amaria if he doesn't score any points on Dodd. Or if Hart doesn't take over the point lead by the end of the weekend. Alex Allen and now William Brock now are dueling down through the industrial sector of this track. I believe they're actually coming up to the street section now. Yes, they are here. And keep in mind, Alex Allen's got a lot of rear end damage from something. Who knows with this race. And this is where Beating and Banging really are showing up here as they go through the streets of Donet City. And here they go down the straightaway here. This is where contact has happened before. And we've seen some pretty vicious accidents down there in the past. Luckily, it looks like Alex Allen and William Brock play it rather safely there as, ooh, that was close there with Brock sliding up in front of Allen. You don't want to do that too often. In order for Brock to stay in championship contention, he has to win the race. Plain and simple. And I don't know if he's going to do that at this stage, unless there's a lot more calamity that happens in front of him. He's running 7th. Aiden Shepard's another driver that needs to win the race to stay in championship contention. I doubt he will. And I think Padcar could be as well. And I think Eddie from Padcar's already fallen out of the race. So, Padcar's still in it, but I think Padcar realistically is done. I think we're going to eliminate quite a few drivers today. The driver that you got to watch is Nick Pericles, because he is not guaranteed if it stays at 199, and Pericles would need, at this rate, to get a couple more positions. Two Zeos Honda teammates of Grayson Acevedo and Trek Tauger now are doing battle. And this is how you get a move done here for Grayson Acevedo, who's been a lot quicker than Trek Tauger this stint. Acevedo now is held up behind the lapped car number 9 as here comes Tauger down pit road. Remember, Tauger might be on a little bit of a different strategy today. As here, the 9 is just like I said, he's got to bring it home essentially. Well, he's got to hope for a bit more attrition too to get points. There's the comparison between Curtis and Hart in the lead. Third, actually, because Acevedo's been held up, Pericles now has caught Acevedo pretty quickly here and is actually, I think, going to get the spot here on Acevedo here. Very veteran move there by Pericles. Pericles needs to do some stuff in this race. He needs to get at least one more point, where if Dodd stayed at 199, he needed to get another point, at least, to stay in mathematical contention. So, this is what Pericles is doing, and I don't think either Curtis or Hart are going to take over the point lead today. I don't think they can, but they can get darn close to the championship fight later. Actually, I can look at that. One of them has 150, plus 30. That only gives them 180, so they'll be at least 10 back. But like I said, when the win gives you 25 unanswered points, plus a pole gives you 10 points right there. Anything possible. So DJ Curtis, the race leader, hits Hart, stays out. Here comes Nick Pericles now trying to make a move on the lap car of Jack Halleck. A little bit of contact there. Don't want to do that too often, but Pericles brings it down pit road as well. Tauger on his pit strategy would end up getting by, though. Nick Pericles and Grayson Acevedo. Acevedo had a very long pit stop, actually. And actually, Vince Freeze would get by as well. Dover is still on racing for position, but I think he hasn't pitted yet. As race leader now is still John R., who hasn't pitted yet. Here comes John R. right behind Pericles out of the pits now. So the Exbalto Island race has actually heated up a little more because Hart's been able to close in on the pit stop cycle. Tauger still runs third with Vince Freeze in fourth. Fifth is actually Kyle Bichelia. Remember, Bichelia started last after a qualifying crash. He's a championship contender. Pericles needs to get points. But to make his life easier, he needs points badly. However, warm tires means a lot around here as DJ Curtis by the halfway point, by the halfway point now has opened up a rather large lead on John Hart. So now, with there not being many cars left in this race, I believe there's only like 24 left, I want want to say. I'll get back to you on that. It's all going to come down to who can now strategize the best. Here's your Kenny Myatt update out of the 23 cars, might I add, remaining. Myatt's still running 20th. He is going to need to have to get up the order a bit. Myatt's going to be one of those drivers, I think, that's going to have to rely on qualifying on the pole, which isn't going to be easy to do, because everyone's going to try it. He would have to qualify on pole and then win the race, and then have whoever the point leader is not finish, and then he might have a shot, but he would need a miracle to be champion then. Contact here between Grayson Ace Vito and Vance Caldwell. Caldwell would go around into the tire wall there. Luckily, no harm, no foul, really. Now, this is the driver that a lot of people are going to watch, is Noah Hart. He's running P10 right now. This is going to be incredibly interesting, because he's not many points behind Dodd. And with the championship going to be this close entering Amaria, and with the win meaning so much, who knows what's going to happen. Noah Hart, though, could end up walking into his third ARCSOA Elite Series championship, which wouldn't that be a wonderful way for him to retire? Wouldn't it be? DJ Curtis, in the meanwhile, is running very, very quickly. Actually, Arndt is closing in a little bit on him, though. Not too much. They're both dealing with lap traffic. Rather slow lap traffic. Tauger is dealing with lap traffic. First car of the business, Kyle Bashelia in fourth. Like I said, he started last, and now he's in fourth. And kicking butt, actually. Well, Pericles is a little quicker than him. Pericles is one of the fastest cars on the track right now. But I'm going to be interested to see what Pericles is going to do here, because, like I said, Pericles is in a position where he needs to perform well in this race. This race is more crucial to him out of anybody remaining in this race than anybody else. Out of everybody in this race right now, Pericles has the hardest job to do. At this stage, he should be theoretically still in contention, but the thing is, you don't want to have to rely on trying to get the pole in Amaria. And it's going to be a long... Ooh, looks like Roush put Bashelia on the wall. That's going to help Pericles out there. However, Bashelia has the preferred line, and Pericles gets the wall there. So that's not going to be good for him. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to have to rely on getting the pole. And actually, Bashelia is not happy with Roush. He was door-checking him down the straightaway there. And Roush, I think, got the message. DJ Curtis now has come up on the slow Kenny Myatt car. Myatt is a good 5 seconds off the pace a lap. That's how slow that car is. And Curtis has got to find ways to get by him here before Arndt gets a hold of him. And Arndt right now has clear track. Granted, he has Davidson in between him and Curtis, but Curtis is not doing a whole lot to get Myatt out of his way. And Myatt's holding his line, but Curtis is trying to be rather aggressive here. And, well, Curtis will not be aggressive, rather be kind of conservative here. And, contact a little bit there between the 9 and the 15. However, he finally gets by, and the 9 is starting to door check the 4. Even though technically the 9 is a lap behind the 4, so the 9 should be letting the 4 go. And we're going to see how easy the 83 is going to have on the 9 here. This should be a pretty easy move. Yes, it is. So the 83 actually gained a ton there on the 15. Alex Allen scraped the wall coming onto the main street here in Donet City, and he is going to have to get more damage repaired. Alex Allen's, of course, going into his final ARCSOA Elite Series race next week in Amaria, and that's not going to be what he wants to have happen to him. There also is Noah Hart coming into pit road as well. Hart is just, like I said, his whole purpose now is just to try and take over the point lead away from Dodd. Maybe eliminate a couple more cars in the process. It looks like we're on lock for the championship this year. Contact between William Brock and Grayson Ace Vito. Ace Vito goes around. One of the championship contenders goes around. And he is going to have a cut tire, so Ace Vito's going to have to limp it home. And I think the 3 will as well. And the 3 is not happy with Ace Vito for some reason. I think that's a little bit wrong. I think that was more of a racing deal than anything else. But they're both going to have to hobble their cars back to the pits right now. It looks like Rahal slid wide there as well. Good recovery drive for Madeline Myatt, though. She's up to P10. Remember, she had to pit pretty early on in this race, and Maddie Myatt now is in 10th position, so that's going to be a good move for her, I think, right now. Heracles from 3rd brings it down to pit road. Fitzwater from 5th brings it down to pit road. Actually, he might be in 4th now, as the 2nd place guy, or the leader, DJ Curtis, also pitted. John Arndt stays out once again. I'm thinking Arndt might try and get away with this race with one less stop than Curtis, because Curtis is going to definitely need to have to pit again. If Arndt can go long enough, he might be able to make it on one more stop, but it would be a definite fuel stretch. Arndt pits on lap 29, and I don't think we're going to see that. I think Arndt's going to be pitting again after this. Just not a whole lot Arndt's going to be able to do there as he brings it down pit road. However, if you notice, John Arndt will beat DJ Curtis out of the pits, who was held up by the slow Alex Allen car. So DJ Curtis now has lost the lead of this race to John Arndt. So here we go again for another duel here between Curtis and Arndt. As Curtis gets by Alex Allen, he's going to have to really start chasing down John Arndt. Meanwhile, over the last 15 laps, Trek Tauger has closed in 5 seconds. So Tauger is another driver you're going to need to watch as this race continues, because Tauger is actually closing in on Curtis pretty quick here, and is closing in on Arndt that meanwhile too. Where's 4th place right now? 4th place was always the Heracles car, and now he is still 4th. Fitzwater's in 5th. Bishalia dropped back to 6th, and now Noah Hart's in 7th. This is not what Heracles wants to see. Heracles needs to get a couple of spots on Hart, because presumably Hart's going to take point lead after this race if he keeps that car running. No matter what, I think Hart's going to be a championship contender as well. Kenny Myatt is holding up Vince Freeze and, ironically, his daughter, and, well, this is actually making it pretty easy for his daughter to catch Vince Freeze. However, now this is actually going to make it difficult for his daughter to get by. Maddie Myatt's having a hard time getting by her father there, and, that's an interesting move there. I don't think Maddie Myatt's technically a championship contender. Contact a little further up between Travis Scott and the 6th car. Travis Scott's running P10. Gotta give him props for that. Great showing by Travis Scott right there. Due in part to all of Aiden Shepard's damage, he would become the 22nd. He would be finishing 22nd, falling out of the race. Tough break for Aiden Shepard. Tauger pits early. This is short pitting by Tauger and Fitzwater. Smart move, if you ask me, here as Curtis and Arndt stay out. Curtis has been reeling in Arndt little by little. Keep in mind there's under 10 to go now in this race, and things are getting very interesting at the front of the field, because a lot of people are now looking at seeing what Tauger's going to do here on short pitting. Tauger was within 4 seconds of the leader. Oh, we got another crash. This is Benjamin Dover and Vince Freeze. They wreck, and up and over goes Dover. Tough break for both of them. Then further up the track, we'd have more wrecks as Travis Scott and Maddie Myatt are battling for position with a lap car of Wallish, and then all 3 of these cars go off. So Maddie Myatt's now done and out of the race. Curtis brings it down pit road. Arndt stays out another lap, and remember, Arndt should have to pit. I don't think he's going to make it necessarily. The big move is going to be seeing the difference between Curtis and Tauger when Curtis comes out of the pits. And it was massive, because Trek Tauger had an awful pit stop. An absolutely awful pit stop. So Tauger is now about 5-6 seconds behind DJ Curtis. The question now is, when is Arndt going to pit? Here comes DJ Curtis, but where is John Arndt going to be? Where is he? In comparison, Arndt is in front. John Arndt now is way in front of DJ Curtis. So this is where things are going to get wild. Wallish and Scott are going at it again. And there's Tauger. So right now, as long as John Arndt can bring it home, he's going to win this race. DJ Curtis has really only a handful of laps to go to gain 1.5 seconds, but he is doing it. He is reeling him in. So this could end up being a race here at the end, as Arndt was held up by some pretty intense lap traffic there by Halleck and Myatt, so Curtis now has a chance here to get him. Curtis only gained a 10th that lap, and I don't think they're necessarily going to get lap traffic either the rest of this race, so John Arndt, all he has to do is hobble the car home and not do anything stupid, and he's won the race. Coming to only 2 to go, though. Actually, they've already taken 2 to go. DJ Curtis is down to a second now in between them. However, he is going to have to gain at least 5/10 each lap to get him. And I don't see that kind of speed out of his car in comparison to Arndt. I think Arndt just is going to walk into this, as third place now isn't really much of anything, unless Pericles can really close in, because Halleck's stuck behind Tauger's stuck behind some heavy lap traffic. Heavy lap traffic, but right now the battle for the win, I don't think it's going to be much. Travis Scott would get into the back of the many lap down Kenny Maya car and put him into the fence, and essentially that would put Maya out of the race. So he was in 16th position, hoping to get some points today. He's not going to. White flag for John Arndt. I don't think Curtis just has enough speed to catch him. Yeah, only a 10th quicker that time. Unless if something were to happen to Arndt, it's not going to be much there for him, as Tauger now is third. Pericles is even a further way back than Tauger is, or than Curtis is on Arndt there. But right now, it's just John Arndt's race. All he has to do is bring it home. It's been a very dominating performance by John Arndt. Arndt has done his best today in a very high attrition-filled race. We expected this, though, from this track. This track isn't exactly the easiest one we go to. It's a very bumpy street circuit. And there's Trek Tauger third. Pericles, he did what he needed to do, but where is Noah Hart? There's 6th place man. 5th and 6th is between Bisceglia and Fitzwater. Fitzwater 5th, Bisceglia 6th, and there's Noah Hart 7th. And now we're waiting on John Arndt and DJ Curtis to bring it home. In what has been a chaotic and absolutely insanity-filled race. Actually, Curtis with a couple more laps probably could have gotten Arndt there. But through the chicane for the final time, that only is the last corner. John Arndt will win the round of the Exbalto Islands here at Donet City. What a showing by John Arndt. Second goes to DJ Curtis. And third, as long as Tauger can bring it home, rounding out the podium, will be Trek Tauger. But I think the more important question is, what are the points going to look like? So let's take a look at your results from this race. So John Arndt wins the round of Donet City. Second place goes to DJ Curtis. Third to Trek Tauger. Fourth to Nick Pericles. Fifth to Fitzwater. Sixth to Bisceglia. Seventh to Hart. Eighth to Padcar. Ninth to Scott. 10th to Davidson. 11th to Rahal. 12th to Caldwell. 13th to Brock. 14th to Allen. 15th to Roush. And then beyond that, Jack Halleck, 16th, Myatt, 17th, Wallish, 18th, Myatt, 19th, Dover, Fries, Shepard, Acevedo, Vanderpesch, Angel, Dunbar, Bouchard, Wilhoit, Jones, Lamas, Shelley, DeMax, Dodd, Thaber, Baskinger, Monaco, and Cohen all did not finish the race. I know I went through results pretty quick here, but it's time to look at your points leaving this race. So going into the finale, this is what it looks like. Noah Hart sits on the top with 205 points. All of the other colors listed. Okay, if you're Padcar and down, you're mathematically eliminated. Kenny Myatt has to win the pole and the race, effectively, for him to be champion. He has to do a clean 60 to be champion, because that would put him on 207, and he would have to have Noah Hart not finish in the points, in the top 15. If you are Bisceglia down to Pericles, you have to win the race. That's just the way it is. You've got to win the race. So it's going to be hard for these drivers. But it's doable. It is doable. You have to win the race. And let's say Pericles would only do it by a point. He has 156. You have to add 50 to that. That gets you to 206. And Hart would not, and in that case, Hart would not have to finish, would not be able to make it. If anyone, let's say John Art has to finish second, essentially. So John Art, if he gets 25 points on 180, he would be put at 205 and get the tiebreaker, but Hart can't finish. However, if you're closer than that, so let's say if John Art gets 180 and gets a 50, all Hart needs to do then is get second. So, essentially, John Art, if he wins the race, he's champion. If Baskinger wins the race, he's champion. If Dodd wins the race, he's champion. And if Hart wins the race, he's champion. It comes down to that. Because Hart would get only 205 points plus 25. That would get you at 230. Art would get the full 180 plus 50 for the win. That would get him to 230. So Art would be champion if he wins the race. And like I said, Baskinger, if Hart doesn't win the race, Baskinger, I think, can finish 6th. And Baskinger needs a grand total of 205 minus 192. That is 13 points, so that is about 6th. Or I don't know where he needs to finish, actually. And then Dodd needs to get 6 points, essentially. But Dodd doesn't have a win either, so then it goes to second place finishes, and then it goes to a crazy tiebreaker, which I think actually Dodd has that tiebreaker on Hart. Baskinger needs to finish. Essentially, if you're Arndt up, if you win the race, you're champion. So it's going to come down to whoever can win the race, I think. And like I said, Bisceglia, Curtis, Jones, they need to win the race to be champion. They cannot just go, if they get 177, let's say, plus 50, you need Hart then not to finish second or something. But at this stage, if you're those drivers, Bisceglia, Curtis, Jones, Bouchard, Tauger, Ace, Vito, Angel, and Pericles, you need a lot to go wrong for Hart, Dodd, and Baskinger to have a shot at this. However, it is possible. It is definitely possible. With this being said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars mathematically having a chance. It's probably going to go down to 12 when we get into the race, because I don't like Mike getting the pole. He would have to pull a rabbit out of his hat to do that. 12 cars mathematically with a shot to be champion is the most, I think, any racing series I've ever seen has ever had going into their finale. 12 cars have a shot at this championship. Which one of them will pull it off? It's anyone's guess. We'll see you in Amaria.